Well, greetings, people of the internet. Unky Joe here, Unky Joe's Playhouse. Today, we're going to get our feet wet with that DellR720. It's just been sitting there with nothing to do. It's lonely. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're back full circle here now to my DellR720. I bought this thing, oh my goodness, 3-4 years ago. It's been so long I don't even remember. And I had a problem with this Dell. It's always been a question of what am I going to put these computers to work doing for me, because they're really lab servers. They're not designed. I don't have the money to power these units to run 24/7 all the time. They take up a lot of wattage to run all this stuff in the rack. So these are purpose-built machines, and previously in my lab I've been using them as either hypervisor or Proxmox host, something of that sort. But with the onset of AI, I tell you, I've just taken a shine to AI, both to the stable diffusion for the pictorial and art and video potential of AI, and then again on the text-based AI portion of AI. The problem I don't like with any of these ChatGPT or any of those is that they're all online and your data is not kept private. And yeah, I'm kind of I know, Joe, you're a YouTube guy and you're worried about privacy. Yeah, I just would rather have that stuff hosted here. I'm not a big fan of hosting my data or my thoughts or my ideas on other platforms. But anyway, we've had that Dell720 here a while, and it had a problem I wasn't even aware it had. I ran into the problem with the iDRAC controller on it. The fans would speed up and slow down. It would do all kinds of wonky shit. And then one day I drew it out of the rack and opened the lid and discovered that on the riser cards on these Dells, there's a little push button on the center riser, and that detects whether your lid is closed or not. It's a little push button switch. And evidently either I slid the lid on and broke this, or it just wore out. So I had that problem and needed to fix it. Now Sakura turned me on within a day of me telling him, within an hour of me telling him that I needed a new riser card. He found me one. I ordered it. It's been sitting here for 9 months. I kid you not. And then the other thing I discovered is that if I'm going to do with this machine what I want to do with it, I need to up the power supplies in it to 1100 watt power supplies. So Sakura helped me with that as well. Keep in mind I got 2 of them in there. I only really needed 1, but I want to go ahead and get 2 for, just redundancy, to have it on hand. So I've got the riser card installed. I've got the dual power supplies installed. And then the piece de resistance, I got the Tesla P40 24 gig video card, or I should say, yeah, video card, whatever, and decided to put that in there. Yeah, go big or go home, as they say. So I finally was able to pick up a reasonably priced Tesla P40 for $197, $198 on eBay. In fact, I ordered a few of these cards, and I just ordered another one the other day because I like them so much. So I've ordered a total of 4 of these cards, 3 for me, well, 2 for me, yeah, 2 for me, 1 for Sakura, and 1 for work. So I've ordered a total of 4 cards, and that's fine because these are really good cards, and what I'm going to be planning to do with them, I'm going to need that kind of power. For a while I was on a kick passing through a video card to a virtual machine. It's not something you can do easily with Hyper-V, although that has changed. We'll cover that in another video. But it's always been kind of a fun thing to try to do on Proxmox and some of the other hypervisors. My goal now was to get 2 programs up and running on and using this P40 video card. One of those is Easy Diffusion, and basically it's an installer of Stable Diffusion. If you want to do Stable Diffusion, that's fine. I chose Easy Diffusion. And the other one is Uba Gooba or something like that, which is a web interface installer for Llama and automatic GPTQ. I'll have links down in the notes section on both of those applications that I'm using. Initially, I was going to do all of this through Proxmox. I was going to put Proxmox 7 whatever on there, and I did. I installed it. I put the video card. I passed through the entire video card to the Windows virtual machine. Gave it fast storage, you know, did everything I should have, and it was just not working. The larger models just simply would not load. And so I thought, well, let's pull Proxmox, let's pull a hypervisor out of the mix, because the goal is to get this AI software running on this high-end Dell and have it actually put it to work for me. So I took Proxmox off and I put Windows Server 2019 back on here. Installed Easy Diffusion. It runs great. And I put the Ooga Booga copy of Llama and their ChatGPT interface on there, and I'm able to load probably 90% of the models I've tried. There's still going to be, it's still a work in progress. Let's put it that way. So most of this video is me talking about it, but now I need to show you how it's working. So we're going to take a step over to my machine here. We're going to go bring the interface up, and I'm going to show you some of the stuff I can do with this, and then what my plans are moving forward. All right, so here we are on the Dell. You can see I've got a couple of Xeon E5 2695E2 processors. Giving me a total of 24 cores and 48 threads. I was wrong. I thought it was the other way around. Memory, I've got 128 gig. I have a 2 gig NVIDIA Quadro P400 card in here. And I have an NVIDIA Tesla P40 video card in here that has 24 gig of onboard memory. I'm running the driver version 15.1408 because it seems to work best. At least in my testing, my limited testing, it works best. So if it ain't broke, I ain't going to fix it. I've already installed Easy Diffusion up here. And I've already installed Ooga Booga too. So I'm going to go ahead and start up Easy Diffusion just to show you how that's working. Give you an idea of what the impact on the system is. So it looks like there may be an update. Alright, so it went ahead and ran an update, and as you can see, it has recovered and it is up and running. The nice thing about Easy Diffusion is it tells you even how to connect to it. So, and it's still doing stuff in the background, but I've already got my browser window open. And here it is. Here's Easy Diffusion now. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail of it. Let's see. I'm going to have it just take a photo of a puppy in a field of flowers. And the nice thing I like about this interface, everything is at your fingertips. So under image settings, I use a different sampler. I tend to use the DPM 2M Keras. I leave my resolution, I leave my inference steps at 25. I know those don't mean anything to you right now. They will as you learn about it. So basically I'm just going to click on Make Image. I just want to show you the kind of load it puts. As you can see, it's starting to consume more memory as it generates this image for me in AI. And this is the first time I think I've used Stable Diffusion on this machine. Now, the beauty is it's running on this machine, but it's a web interface for both Easy Diffusion and for the Ooga Booga interface for ChatGPT, and they both run in a web interface, so you'll be able to access them from other machines on your network. So it's now, completing and making an image. It doesn't take too long at 512 by 512. And there you go. So there's a... Now, if it looks a little, I don't think it looks right yet. I want to draw another 25 steps. It's pretty close, so it's pretty realistic. Let me do a photo, and we'll go ahead and cue that up as well. Well, I got a captive audience here, but it's fun to play with. It'd be fun for your kids. Now, there's a lot of, while that's running, we can come over here to settings, and you can see it's got a nice layout of how the settings are set up. And it's already got Stable Diffusion is already available on your network. You just need to, if you're using a firewall, you need to make sure that you have ports open on your firewall, and then you can be able to access it from anywhere. And then you got help and community, merge models, what's new. So it'll show you all the changes. And then, oh, that's much better. Yeah. That's a much better picture. That's a photorealistic. I want to still draw another 25 steps of that one. But that one's much better. The only thing is it looks like it's put nipples right there. So let's draw another 25 steps of that. And as you can hear, the machine is handling it just fine. It's very little impact on CPU, and mainly on the Quadro GPU is doing the 3D work, but this one is giving its memory over to this program to do the generation of the AI of the images. And if I were to come down here and change the image size, say like 1024, 768. We'll do one at that size. Yeah, see, it didn't make much difference. It made this part of his eye look a little more realistic. It smoothed that out. But you still see this over here. This doesn't look real. But, you just have to play with the settings, and you're probably going to have to go out and do a little studying to learn how to use Easy Diffusion, to its full use. And you can do everything you can do on Stable Diffusion as well. So, yeah, there you go. I've just created some beautiful images of puppies, and I've rendered it. Let me do one more at this larger size, and you'll see it just simply uses more RAM. You should see the RAM going up here. Nope, maybe not. And the Quadro is generating the 3D. So yeah, everything's working as it should. We'll do this one last image, and then we'll move on to something. We'll move on to the other AI portion. Now, I don't know that you can run Easy Diffusion and Ooga Booga at the same time. You probably could, but then you'd be in contention for resources. So I don't recommend it. And there you go. There's several puppies in a field of flowers. And it works pretty well. I'm going to go ahead and leave. And then I'm going to come over here to... And I'm going to hit Control-C in this window a couple of times. And tell it to terminate the batch job. And that's how I exit out. All right, so I've got... that was Easy Diffusion. Now let's go out and run Ooga Booga, and basically once you've installed it, you just double click on this batch file, and it'll go out and it'll start up the program. And keep in mind, I'm not well versed with any of these programs, so what I know I'll share with you. What I don't know, I'll just tell you I don't know what that does. And that'll be something you can find out for yourself, and then come back to the Discord channel, or even here under the chat, and tell everybody else what you've discovered and share that knowledge with the rest of the group. Now this one takes a couple of minutes to load, and it doesn't tell you anything on the screen, so you might be, if you're impatient like I was the first time I played around with this, I thought, oh no, Here we go. It's locked up. Now, just be patient. Give it a few minutes. And when I say give it a few minutes, I mean get up and go get yourself your favorite beverage, or just walk around the house, go to the bathroom, and don't be in a hurry. When you come back, if it's ready, it's ready. Now, that wasn't bad at all. It just took a few minutes to launch, and it's ready. So again, we're gonna do this under Edge, and I'm gonna do see if it'll autocomplete. Yeah, localhost 7860. So this is the interface. Now, what I want to do is I already have a session set up here. Well, that isn't it. Didn't load a model either. I thought I had saved a session. All right, well, I'm going to show you what I do. I come over here to session. I put it in chat mode. I change this turn listen on and share on. And then I apply and restart. That changes the interface. You'll see that here in just a second. So now you see it looks, it looks like a chat session. And I'm going to come over here to model, and I'm going to choose the Bloke Wizard Vicuna Uncensored, I believe. Now, when I click on there, it changes the loader to what it needs to be, and then begins to load the model. And as you can see, keep an eye on memory and keep an eye on dedicated GPU memory. You're going to see them both go up. Now, hopefully this model will load. This is one of my favorite models. It works really well. But you see the memory climbing, 16 gig, 17. And we'll keep the DOS window open over here, so it'll tell us if it crashes or not. And you can see we're using 8 gig of RAM on the Tesla card. 8.5. 9.2. So the model loaded in 48.13 seconds. So the model should be ready. So now I'm back over on the chat interface, and just let me show you the different interfaces. So the default interface looks like this. Some people like this interface. I don't care for it. Some of the stuff I want is not where I'm used to it being. And then there's the notebook. See what that looks like. Okay. And then the chat. Now, one of the complaints with the chat would be that you have to scroll down past the bottom of the page to see the rest of the options, and a lot of people don't know that is there. Now, usually I keep mine in chat mode because one of the things is on the chat settings, I have it pretend my name is, okay. And now we'll save that. Save. Should override it. Good. So now when I come back to text generation, you'll notice when you have it on instruct, let's see what it takes. There it goes. It is taking its time. Let me ask it another question. How do you feel? Normally, this is a very speedy model. There we go. And normally, it's much faster. I'm going to go ahead and finish the conversation here. And then we'll flip it over to chat and learn. And it could be because it's in learning mode, it's slower. So that generated in about 35 seconds. So it's not doing too bad. I'm going to switch it over to Chat Instruct. Okay. The sun. And now you can see that it's going to put my name in here and then the name of the AI. And you can see this one seems to be running a little bit quicker. So it's still in chat, plus it's in instruct mode. I don't know how those modes work, to be honest with you. I normally keep it in chat, but now that I know there's chat plus instruct, I can use that. I can come here and I can clear the history. So if you don't want people to see what you've been chatting about, you can get rid of it. Now I'm going to ask it something more complicated. I'm going to ask it to write me a script for my YouTube channel all about the DellR720 server. And let's see what it says. So it's doing its thing. Also under parameters, it's going to get to 200 tokens and then it's going to stop. And you'll see that here as it goes on and starts typing here. It'll look like it's stuck. It's not stuck. If you keep your eye on this screen here, you're going to see it'll come up and say it generated 199 or 200 tokens. And then it stops. And you have to come here and click the continue button. So if you wanted these longer responses to have, I guess you just increase the tokens. And that decreases the number of times. That's one of the things it does is it decreases the number of times you have to hit the continue button. But we'll just let this run till it, and you can see it's pretty powerful. These are really good speeds. And it's an honest to goodness script that I could use in a YouTube video. Just an example of, there are people that know how to use the chat interface a whole lot better than I do. So not only is it ChatGPT is AI, it learns as we learn to use it. So, and I bet you it's reached its 199 tokens. Yeah, right there. So it took it 73 seconds to type that line in. But I can just click on continue. And it knows, and it's learning now too. So it knows I'm Monkey Joe. It knows now that I have a YouTube channel. So as I move forward with other questions for this AI, because it's a learning AI, it's my understanding, it's going to retain that information. Now I got to verify that, so that when I come on next time, it'll know, hey, there's my human Monkey Joe with a YouTube channel. He's got a DellR720 server. But yeah, you can get an idea, and you could do, there's a whole plethora of models out there on Hugging Face. I have just scratched the surface with what can be done with this. And you see it uses, the most it uses is physical RAM and then a GPU RAM to make all this happen. So that's why I got these Tesla P40 video cards. They were at the right price at the right time. I'm even getting one for work, and that way we have this kind of AI interface at work that we can use to our benefit. And then we can change the chat style, whatever that is. So let me do the encrypted 777 and tell it to continue. Oh, that's maybe just the CSS style. Okay. All right. Well, you learn something new every day, right? Oh, yeah. So it's done the script. Very good. So there you go. There's I don't want to call it ChatGPT, but it's running Llama. It's running, this is the Ooga Booga installer for that product. So there you go, up and running. It's nice to see that Dell being put to good use. I think it actually gets put more to use when it's running Easy Diffusion than when it is the AI. So I'm hoping I'll be able to run both of these at the same time, but that'll come up in a later episode. So there you go. It's pretty exciting, and it's a big learning curve. There's lots of different models I can try. You go to Huggy Face, or Hugging Face is a good location to go for new models. If you want, I prefer the uncensored models, so I can ask my assistant any question I want it to. Whether it's got foul language in it, or if it's, about how to not make things that go boom and that kind of thing. I want it to be uncensored. So that's the choice I made. Now, moving forward, I'm not changing this system. Sakura I've told Sakura the problems I had with getting it to run under virtualization. So Sakura has a lot more equipment to play on than I do. And that's one of the reasons I sent him the Tesla card, is so we could do this. He could do it on the open source side, I could do it on the Windows side, and we could kind of compare notes. So if and when he gets it running stable on Proxmox, I'll come back to you and we'll try to recreate it here on this channel, so you can see how that's done as well. And this was not a soup to nuts video, I understand that, but there's a lot of, if you follow the Git repositories, they have full instructions there on how to install these. I mean, if a moron like me can figure out how to install AI and get it up and running, certainly you can do it, right? But that machine that's what it's going to stay dedicated for. I may get a little more RAM for that machine. It's only got, I believe, 96 gig or 128. I'd like to kind of double that to have that RAM available. Yeah, it's just giving me a lot of flexibility. I don't know about you, but I want to see all that silicon working. I want to see the RAM being used. I want to see the memory of the video card being used. I mean, this is what was that P40 when it came out, a $10,000 video card? I picked it up for a tenth of its value, $200. Well, I don't know what that's math, it's difficult. But the point is, I got it cheap. And I am the king of cheap, so it's right up my alley. But yeah, don't be afraid of AI. Get into it, and if you have it's nice to see this old equipment finally getting put to work, doing something productive. And I don't leave it running all the time. I bring it up. If I know I'm not going to need it during the day, I leave it off, and then I bring it up. And it only pulls about, I think, 250 watts under full load. It's no worse than your gaming machine, right? So I bring that up once or twice a day, depending on what I need ChatGPT for. And now it's taken me off of the online one and put me on the local one. And then a lot of times when I'm feeling artsy or I want to see some art generated, I flip over to the Easy Diffusion. It runs on the same machine. And then if I were to need to run virtual machines on this thing, I can, because Hyper-V is also installed. So there you go. I've got AI up and running. I can play with the models. You're really going to need a video card with a lot of RAM. I've also purchased a 3060 RTX 3060 with 12 gig of RAM, and we're going to do some cool stuff with that moving forward as well. So anyway, I want to thank y'all for coming to see me again. I appreciate you sticking with this channel for all these years. Those of you that have been here forever and just continue to support me, I cannot thank y'all enough. And those of you that are breezing in and out, welcome, and see you the next time. If you find the next video entertaining and informative, as hopefully you will. But anyway, smash that like button for us. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and click that notification bell to be notified of new videos when they come out. Donate if you're so inclined. PayPal, Patreon, YouTube join function, or become a YouTube premium member. We get a little bitty piece of that pie. It's tiny, and it's it's just ad revenue, but it helps. It helps keeps these lights on and these cameras rolling and these wonderful sets I'm presenting you with. So donate if you can. It's greatly appreciated. Or if you want to send me something, that's fine too. Don't send me your garbage. Send me stuff you would keep. You know what I'm saying? Not that I've had that problem, but I just want to make sure I don't become Unky Joe's Recycling Center. So, and shout out to Medic Herb. He sent me some great stuff. Speaking of people sending me stuff, a month and a half, 2 months ago, we got some videos coming up on how we put that stuff to good use. So you got that to look forward. Please come back and see us again, and don't forget, we'll see all of you on the other side.